Tristan Thompson, NBA champion and entrepreneur, joined us earlier today to discuss his recent business ventures in AI, crypto, and how he's building a legacy on and off the court. Let's take a listen.
It's important for athletes, and I think in sports in general, right? I think people do it's very disappointing and sad that they try to pigeonhole us as athletes. You know, obviously, you know, God has blessed us with amazing talents and abilities, but we're more than that, right? We're more than just athletes. We're actually business ventures, we're VCs, we're our own entrepreneur, and I think that's the best way to put it. And for myself, you know, 14 plus years in NBA and still playing and playing at a high level, you look for what's next, right? What's next in life, but how can I make an impact, right? And, you know, obviously a lot of athletes, whether they go into commentating, they go into coaching, scouting, but for me, it's like, how can I partner with companies that are about making a change in the world, and how can I be an asset to help them do that? And I think with these titles and these companies, they all have a special place in my heart where it ties back to my everyday life.
When you talk about how it ties back into your everyday life, one company that you're involved with is a company called Dow. Basically, it is, you can kind of explain it for us, AI, but through the lens of sort of health equity or having a better understanding of your health and your health data.
Being Canadian, being from Toronto, everyone knows that healthcare is universal. But what about universal? It doesn't mean it's the greatest. It doesn't mean it's the best. And it wasn't really until I was able to make the MBA and have the resources and opportunities to actually have my brother meet these other doctors, and especially UCLA, I give them a lot of credit, and they were able to take my family in and really run tests on Amari. And what they were able to find out is that, you know, his form, the level of epilepsy he had, right? Before then, all of Amari's life, we never knew. We just said, you know, you can grow out of it. They just gave us very general data. But it wasn't until we got to UCLA, and he said, you know, unfortunately, all the tests and the trials that they ran on your brother gave him brain damage. And it was unfortunate. He said, you know, if I met your guy's family maybe 5 years prior, I could have gave treatments that might have given them a better form of life. And for me, that was like a trigger to me that how can I help the next family behind me not go through the same experience that I'm going through? And with AI and having your health in the palm of your hands, you can find treatments and have doctors from all over the world have access to your health data, right? And that's something for me, is that I'm trying to help the ones behind me, but even the people that are going through this each and every day.
Looking at, you know, your background and your portfolio in particular, that there's this broader trend of AI founders and crypto founders. The lines are increasingly blurring, and it seems like the skill sets are similar, and you're a great example of that.
Yeah, no, I think that's why we're able to do this, right? With it being on chain, and the great thing about being on chain is that you can see everything. There's no hidden agendas, there's no secrets, there's no backdoor, which obviously for most human beings, before obviously with the administration and them pushing the narrative about, you know, Web3 and crypto, a lot of people were just unsure about it, right? And it had a bad stigma and a bad narrative, whether it was the FTX crash, just bad stories, right? And I think now with everyone seeing these big companies and people are really pushing this on-chain Web3 crypto to integrate to our everyday life, people are educating themselves and realizing that this is actually not a villain, this is actually a partner.
One thing that really caught my eye was this idea that Tracy AI will deliver predictive insights as well. Does that mean that it's going to be predicting which team is going to win the game, basically?
I mean, let's look at our prediction market. That was basically the whole presidential run, right? The Poly market became a big billion-dollar company just from prediction market. And I think that's the trend that's going on in the world, but it's also the trend that's going to happen in sports. And for Tracy AI, she gives her predictions on who's going to win the game. And even though I created this, when we were in the playoffs playing against Indiana, she was tweeting that Indiana's going to beat the Cavs, and I'm like, I created you, and you're going to go against me. You're going to go against your own founder. But the facts are the facts, and obviously Indiana took us out and eliminated us. But I think that's the next step, where prediction market in sports is the next form. It's not all the way gambling, but it's more just letting people take their chances in the odds.
What are your investments looking like outside of like the direct sort of AI crypto world? I know you've been involved in, was it Cloud Popcorn and Viola and John Elliott, and I'm sure a few other things I'm forgetting. I think a tequila brand as well. 818. And I know some of those are investments that kind of come through some of your family and personal connections. But how deep are you pushing? Much deeper are you pushing into that space?
Yeah, I look at myself as an entrepreneur VC. You know, I had a great exit with Poppy, the healthy drink, so I got in there in 2020, early seed rounds. Actually, it was my agent, Rich Paul, brought it to me. So his connection, so it was great. So and then
Rich Paul, he's everywhere these days.
Yeah, he's everywhere, man. He's working. He's a working man, which is motivating. He's another he's another person that motivates me each and every day, because you know where he's come from till now it's been great. But for me, it's expanding your reach, right? I think that's, you know, when you're put on the stage and you're blessed with a certain career, whether it may be basketball, finance, you got to see what else is out there, right? You can't just, like I always keep saying, never pigeonhole yourself into one thing, because you just never know your true potential, right? Physically, I'm NBA player, athletic, jump high, strong, but my mind has potential to be something else, right? Like be an entrepreneur, be someone that could create something, be someone that can help change the lives of everyday folk.